Hello, everybody. I'm going to need to transition people over from my first live feed. It did not launch right. One moment. So, my name is Joelle, and I am the Viberarian. My goal is to elevate, enlighten, and empower with information that I hope that you find uplifting and things that shift your perspective. So, today I wanted to come on to just have a quick chat moment about a topic that kind of caught my attention today. So, as you may know, there is this journey known as the twin flame journey. By way of background, my conscious awakening came like in around 2010, 2011, and then around 2014, I was activated into a particular journey that is commonly known as a twin flame journey. So, as part of trying to figure out what that term meant and what the implications were for the things that I was experiencing, I went out to YouTube to join groups and find community of other people who might be experiencing the same thing. And I found that it was very helpful at times to be able to talk with other people who were experiencing these rather unusual occurrences that happen for twin flames when they are becoming into their awareness and triggering for what's known as a union or reunification process. So, excuse the glare on my glasses here. Okay, so as I was in these communities, I've been talking with people and observing and members of several communities, online communities, for about 3 years, maybe 4 years. And so, one thing that you notice over a period of time as you start to interact with people in groups is that even though the group memberships are different, oftentimes there's an overlap in the ideas or the energy. And sometimes there's an overlap of group membership. You know, you'll start to see the same people participating in conversations around many different groups. So, I mean, there are groups that are as large as 10 or 20,000 people that are all working towards like consciousness goals and that are geared towards specific types of ascension journeys, including star seeds and twin flames. So, one of the things that I would observe over a period of time is conversations and commentary where someone would share that, and they would say, "Oh, my twin flames is under a spell." And usually the story goes like this: my twin flame is with another person who will have the label karmic, which that would mean a connection that is not a twin flame. And the way that some people use it, it quite honestly has a negative connotation. And you'll see the commentary will say, "My twin's karmic is blah, blah, blah." And it could be a positive statement after that, but 9 times out of 10, there's a negative position behind the idea that's being put out there. "My twin's karmic is being such and such." Well, my twin's karmic put a spell on him and he will not leave her, and etc., etc. I mean, there's like probably 100 different flavors of the same Kool-Aid, and you start to see it. Now, I can honestly say that I have not ever seen a masculine post a post like that. I have not seen a man say, "You know, my twin flame is under a spell of this guy and he's doing sex magic on her and she won't leave him because she's bewitched. And what can I do? How can I help her? I need to get her away from him." But I do see it from feminines in terms of the way that they're experiencing what is to them a twin flame experience. So the idea that there is a prevalence on one gender to have a concept in place that has the idea that someone is prevented from doing something by another person's trickery or spells, if you will, or any other kind of bondage or trapping. Those tend to be the energies that start to come when you see these positions articulated. Um, it really is quite interesting to me because I'm thinking, well, if twins are both masculine and feminine and they're having similar experiences, then why are not the masculines voicing their fears and concerns about their feminines not being able to break themselves free from someone because of some kind of courting or an evil intention or a negative connotation? Uh, to me, if something is going to be neutral, then it should be being experienced by both aspects, masculine and feminine, right? So when I am reading these comments about evil spells, so several things came up, and forgive me if I'm rambling. This is a topic that is rather broad for me, and there's a lot of angles in it. So firstly, let's speak to the idea of evil spells for one thing. I do not know everything about the abilities and things that people do. I am still learning about all of the areas that people use and do energy work, all of the ways that people work with spirit. And so I am not an expert or authority to say that this cannot happen. But what I can share with you then is some of the framework and the belief system that I operate under, which is that anything that I believe can be adopted as my framework and reality. Okay. So if I want to believe that I am um, a twin flame, let's start from that premise, then I can adopt all manner of statements that then speak to what I believe that twin flame label means. I believe that everyone has a right to their own belief systems. So if you believe that you're a twin flame, I'm not going to argue with you, because it's really your truth, right? So if you also then believe that you're involved in a situation where your partner is under an evil spell, then I'm not going to challenge that belief either, because you are certainly welcome to live in your reality. And I believe that we are all meant to be experiencing these realities because it brings something to the collective through our individual experience. However, at all times, we are able to shift our frameworks to expand, release, adopt, enlarge, limit any of the belief systems that we've come to use in our life. So if I am a person who is believing that my partner, the person who I am in love with, is attached to another person through not of their own free will, because let's say that fundamentally that's what being under a spell of something is that not under your free will you have been compelled to do something or to not do something by someone external to you. Okay, so if I am of a belief system that people have ability to do things to me without my knowledge or consent, then it is likely that I will attract people who then wish to attract energies. And those people would be those that then wish to use energies on people without their knowledge and consent. So it's like two pieces of the same dynamic. So if I am sending an energy out to say that someone who I love, I'm concerned about because they are being trapped, they are being held back, they can't come to me because of what someone else is forcing them to do. Then let's take the concept of a twin flame out and say this is my sister. My sister, let's say I felt the same thing about a neutral person. My boss is under an evil spell and he's being compelled to be a jerk. So, or, my teammate has me under an evil spell because he wants to do better than me in the game for statistics, right? That starts to send external reasons for your reality. I shifted my perspective over a period of time to one that says that I am in control of my reality and that I have the ability to be aware of the things that are happening to me and then to direct those things rather than things happening to me and me being a hapless receiver of this reality that is sent at me. A lot of the idea of a spell being put onto you by someone is to say that against your will, you were made to do something. On the one hand, then that gives you an excuse, right? Well, I couldn't help myself. I was under a spell, right? I'm sorry I did that to you. It abdicates of some of the person's actual responsibility or contribution to that particular dynamic. So if you're looking at a person and saying, oh, you're behaving badly, but it's not your fault, you're under the spell of someone else who is making you do these things that ultimately are hurtful to me. And maybe they're hurtful to you too. A lot of times the women who are posting are very much like, I'm very concerned. It's destroying his life, this dynamic. She is ruining him. She cast a spell. He lost all his money, things of that nature. But if you shift to a principle where you are in the driver's seat and therefore everyone else is also in the driver's seat of their own reality, then that walks you back a few paces from the idea that someone could put a spell on your twin. And it may wind up being something that belief system is more comforting to a person to say, well, you know what? This person must be under a spell because I am valuable. And why would they not choose me if I was valuable? It has to be some other reason why this person would not elect to, say, engage in a relationship with me. Why they're engaging in a relationship with someone else is because, oh, they compelled them to, or they're bewitched, or they're under a spell. That might make a person feel better. I'm not going to say that wouldn't if you're in that particular vibration of externalizing ownership of the things that are happening to you in your experience. So there's an energy of being someone's victim in the dynamic of being under a spell, right? So the masculine is under a spell from someone else, and therefore he is a victim of that person. But then you, as the twin flame of that masculine, position yourself as being also then a victim of this supposed energy, of this spell that has been cast on your twin. So one of the things of being a twin flame is that we are healing ourselves and moving out of the energies of the victimizations that we have experienced in our lives, in this life and past life. The times when we were compelled to do things such as marry people not for love, all of those kinds of energies of forced situations preventing people from being able to come together in love. Yes, that has been energy that has been experienced. So if it is mirroring itself into this belief created reality, whereby the reason you are in separation or not in a good place with your divine partner is because of someone else's outside force. And I would just challenge to say that it's possible to think about that differently. And matter of fact, I will say this leading into my second point. If you are a twin flame, then some of the principles that you are accepting is that you are one energetic body with your divine complement, that at the highest levels, you are an integrated aspect that is experiencing your current incarnation from an individualized perspective. Meaning, I, Joelle, am experiencing life through me, but I am part of an energetic, larger body, which is myself and my twin, who is the unified I over top of that. So, the masculine energy is experiencing not only through the other, but through your own self. You are called to balance and harmonize on the twin flame journey your own inner masculine and feminine energies so that you accept and love all of the aspects, all of the duality of yourself, all of the gender division of yourself, all of the energies that have been assigned to a gender spectrum, that you integrate those fully into your own individual self and operate. And as you do so, then your divine complement is also integrating and doing those things in their journey, coming into a state of love and acceptance of all that is them. So if I have a masculine partner who is not resonating in a frequency that I feel isn't aligned with myself, that may very well honestly, be the case. And many times twins separate because one party says, you know what, this is just not where I am developmentally, and you seem to be in a different place. So let's just, part ways, hopefully in a way that works and not through any kind of cycle behaviors. But let's go ahead and, be apart, right? While we come into better balance with ourselves. So if I have a masculine nature that is susceptible to being tricked, because that's one thing that is said when someone casts a spell on another person. The idea is, well, how did that happen to them, right? Were they gullible? Oh, he just fell into her clutches. Oh, he just is trapped in the energies and this, that, and the other. It's kind of like this person's powerless. So is there an aspect in myself that feels powerless, right? What that could look like is, for me as a feminine, I need my car fixed. Now, I could feel powerless to do that because there's no masculine in my reality to be able to handle that kind of thing, because I don't know machines and mechanics and all that kind of stuff. And I could be in a disempowered kind of position where I have said that's a masculine thing and I can't do it, right? Or I can say, you know what, I need to get my front car fixed. I own it. Yeah, I might get grease on my fingernails or my hands or whatever, but you know what? I will go and take the initiative and I will fix my car, my transportation. I will be in a more masculine energy to get that done. And I'll be fine with that. It's not going to compromise who I see myself as being, or upsets my internal apple cart, if you will. Right? So if you're looking at your masculine and saying he's weak, how could he not see through her spells, or he's being victim, then look at yourself and say, okay, where do I feel weak? Where do I feel like I don't have power to change something in my life? Where is the mirror? And I know you all know about the twin flame mirror. You can Google it, you can YouTube search it and find all kinds of information about the mirror. So if this is a reflection of you, and you feel that your reflection is being victimized or is being compelled, do you then feel that you somewhere are being victimized and are being compelled? And the same solution that you then would think of to liberate your twin from the clutches of this situation, what would you do to liberate yourself from the clutches of a situation? I mean, it becomes like an automatic exercise over a period of time where everything that you project out, not just for your twin, but for the world around you, everything that you project out can come back to you and serve as a very valuable mirror for you to uncover your own subconscious beliefs and operations, right? So if I also am discovering that I believe that I hold a belief that my masculine is disempowered or is not capable of owning his own decisions, and that he has decided not to be with me of his own free, because someone else made him, is very interesting, because every relationship that we enter is our teacher, and that can be work relationships, family relationships, it can be casual relationships, it could be with your Starbucks girl, you know what I'm saying, at the drive-through window, right? Everything is an opportunity to see the reflection of yourself, another you, out in the world and how they're operating. So in terms of how the word karmic is even used, let's say that's your connection that is not, it's a relationship connection that is not necessarily your twin flame romantic love dynamic. It's the person who, in many cases where you see these comments made, this is the person who your twin flame is engaged to in terms of relating emotionally. They can be married, not married, had kids together, but it's the person who they're engaging with at a particular frequency, in many cases an alternative to actually engaging or before engaging with the actual twin flame in a unified relationship state. So what I have come to understand is that every feminine and every masculine of like significance that I have dealt with in my life has been an aspect of my divine masculine. Okay, so even from down to the father presence I had in my reality, which one of the qualities of divinity is nurturing, planting seeds, and growing, and being a father itself is a divine masculine role, such as being a divine mother. Now, you don't have to strive to be that father or mother if that's not part of your soul journey. But so from the father that I had to the brothers that I grew up with, that I learned about how to have siblings of masculine energy as a young child, how to fight and how to take tough knocks with the guys, and they had to learn how to be sensitive to me as a young sister in the household, to the people who I fell in love with, um, to the kind gentleman who opened the door for me and took my groceries to the car, right? So all around are expressions of masculinity. Some are more divine than others. So every person that I'm interacting with, I see them then as this aspect of a divine masculine, because I'm seeing myself in them, because I also have inner divine masculinity, right? So to hold ill will towards any person, not just the partner of someone who you wish was your partner right now or that you're desiring. So to hold ill will or negative frequency or response to that person is holding a negative frequency or response to yourself. If your partner or your twin flame is engaged in a dynamic relationship with someone else that you feel is not healthy for them, and that you have opinions about, well, they do this and she doesn't do that, and whoever that person is, feminine or the masculine, they are operating at the level of divinity that they are capable of in that moment. And if that is wounded divinity that acts out and that is not nice, or that is controlling or suspicious or competitive, I mean, it's still a divinity in action. And you, as your twin in being, can only really honor and send love through to that which a part of you loves. I mean, when it gets down to it, your twin is you. You are them. If someone has caught their attention, or if they're involved in an energetic exchange with them, then how could you not honor that for whatever the lesson and the challenge is? If they may truly be a terrible person, anybody could truly be a terrible person. That's not to take away from certain experiences that are growthful, that are not pleasant at all. People come out of abusive relationships. I'm not advocating that their abuser is not a nice person. However, we do know that abusers are people who have been abused. They also, we have to know that they too are divine, even if they are not operating in a level where it's easy for us to see their divinity at this time. So the whole concept of having someone to put a spell, and needing help to rescue or free your partner from someone else's clutches, it just really sparked some thoughts in me, and I wanted to get on to kind of talk it out with you all. And I will be back because I've got a few other thoughts, and I'm sure there'll be some commentary after this, because and again, if you are a person who is in real life dealing with a situation like that, then please do chime in and, let me know what that experience has been like for you. Because, I think that there might be ways to shift your experience. And I don't think you necessarily have to go pay somebody to go remove the spell or be seeking answers and things that I've seen. But again, that may be true. But I just wanted to offer you some food for thought today. And I look forward to having other discussions with you. Please do check out The Viberarian on Facebook and www.theviberarian.com. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter. And I just wanted to give a shout out to all the other people who are out here speaking about their truth on a day-to-day basis. We do all have something to learn from each other. The light in me absolutely honors the light in you.